I suppose it would help if I turned the camera on. Good evening, everybody. Oh my goodness. My voice is shot. Absolutely shot. But I got to tell you, this is going to be a short stream tonight. Just wanted to say hello, get caught up with everybody. But man, let me tell you, AEW Live tonight was incredible. Started off with Dark Elevation taping, then got into Dynamite, Rampage right afterwards, and then we got a bonus dark match at the very end, and no spoilers for any of the taped stuff. You can, if you want to find spoilers, you can find, they're available online, but I'm not going to give any spoilers. But what an amazing night it was. If you have an opportunity to go see AEW live, especially if you're one of those cities that gets lucky enough to have Dynamite and Rampage on the same night, do it. And get there for the beginning, stay until the very end. It's long. It's 4.5 hours, but it is so worth it. Oh my goodness. Yes, Lucas, it was an incredible night. Probably the best wrestling show I've ever been to. And I mean, I've only been to a handful, not even a handful of WWF shows before. I have not been to a WWE show, and I can't even remember. If Brian would pop in here, he would remember when we went to one. The last big show I went to was a Ring of Honor show here in Milwaukee. Good grief, 5 years ago. But this was incredible. The building was absolutely perfect for professional wrestling because there's literally not a bad seat in the house. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, I did post a couple of pictures on Twitter tonight, but it was amazing. It was amazing. Dynamite. I can't wait to actually watch it back tomorrow, because obviously we don't get the commentary. We don't get to see any add-on things that they do backstage for the most part. So I want to see that, and I want to see what the presentation looked like, but it was great. And I'm going to tell you right now, they announced the 4 matches for Rampage, and the opening match is Rey Fenix and Andrade El Idolo. I will not be surprised if that match gets edited down, much like was it Pac and Buddy Matthews like a month and a half ago? I forget who it was. There was a match that there was a big tizzy about because it got edited down for television. But I'll tell you, that match was absolutely incredible. It was just a stunning display by both men. The final 2 minutes of sequence in that match were crazy, absolutely crazy. AEW did a fantastic job of, final building for Forbidden Door on Sunday. Boy, yeah, you're Lucas. Yeah, Christian. Boy, that was a long promo from him. I cannot believe how long he went. And then the whole thing with Luchasaurus at the end. We were all expecting Jungle Boy to come out, but I'm guessing he's selling the injuries, and we won't see him for maybe not for another 2 weeks. I don't know. But this whole thing that they're doing with Luchasaurus. And I don't know if you caught it on television, but when Luchasaurus, yes, it's lemonade, Marcus. When Luchasaurus had Christian in the chokehold in the corner, I don't know if you heard him mentioning Marco Stunt. And, Marco Stunt's contract wasn't renewed. He was part of Jurassic Express, and they just didn't have anything for him. And kind of utilizing that. Are they planning on turning Luchasaurus heel? And are they going to have him drop the masked gimmick? Could you see that potentially happening? Because that was a concern I had. Because obviously Jungle Boy is going to be turning his attention to Christian, so he's going to be a singles wrestler. And where does that leave Luchasaurus? A heavily gimmick character all by himself. Yeah, Lucas, you're right. I think he's gonna turn heel. He's gonna lose the mask. He's going to become the next Tyson Tomko for Christian. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, just Google Tyson Tomko and it will explain the story. I could see him being that next person. Maybe that's the next stage of where it needs to go with him. I don't know. Overall, I thought it was Dynamite was an incredible show. It really was. The only match that really didn't get a lot of, a lot of really heavily positive feedback from the live crowd was Marina Shafir and Toni Storm, which is a shame. I think a lot of that just has to do with people just don't know how to react to Marina Shafir. It actually helped her having Nyla Rose out there with her, because Nyla Rose was able to really play the heavy heel part and really, draw the crowd in for that, which was good. And then obviously, Thunder Rosa coming in at the end, and all of that. What I thought was funny, and I don't know how it came across on television, but Hangman Adam Page versus Silas Young. I was excited when I heard that was announced, because Silas Young is from Milwaukee, former Ring of Honor World Television Champion from Milwaukee, and he got the hometown pop tonight. He really did. And it was great to see. And he looked fantastic. He looked fantastic in the ring. He had the one little slip up on that, that move that he does into the corner. I forget what it is. He slipped, instead of being able to pop up, he slipped into being able to pop up and go up on the ropes. But overall, I thought that was a great match. And then everything that happened at the end, absolutely nobody was expecting Okada to show up, because every single report was Okada is not going to be at Forbidden Door. He is not going to be there. And he showed up. And I'll tell you, the coin drop, and, it caught me by surprise at first. And then he came out like, oh my God, Okada is in Milwaukee. He's here. And the crowd went absolutely crazy. It was just an amazing sight to see Okada in Milwaukee. I didn't think it was going to happen. Obviously, the show opened with Bryan Danielson, and unfortunately, he won't be at Forbidden Door or at Blood and Guts next week. But it sounds like whatever he's dealing with is not that serious. It's really not. And he's got a plan in place. Who do you think he's bringing in to face Zack Sabre Jr.? I think we're finally going to get to see Claudio. I think that's who it is. I think it's going to be him. Now, it might just be a one-off. It may not be a Claudio is all elite. He may just be coming in as a one-off to do a favor for Bryan Danielson and help out here. But could you imagine? I can't see it being anybody else. The only other person I could think of is Johnny Gargano. But I don't know if Gargano and... I mean, that would be a dream match too, Johnny Gargano and Zack Sabre Jr. But I think just because Bryan Danielson and Claudio have known each other for so long, they have a friendship. They were on the independent scene for many years together, in Ring of Honor together. They were in WWE together. And I could see it being a situation where as soon as he found out that he wasn't going to be cleared for Forbidden Door, he went to Tony Khan and asked him, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this, but I can get you a guy. Can I make the call? And Bryan Danielson is the one that made the phone call. And either that or the fact that he didn't tease it tonight, or he teased it but didn't say who it was, maybe it's not a done deal. It may be a situation of they're trying to get it taken care of and getting it done, and it's not done yet. I hope that's not the case, because Tony Khan would be pulling a Vince McMahon then. But I think Claudio, the former Cesaro, coming out and facing Zack Sabre Jr. would be great. And Zack showing up on Dynamite as well was really cool. I thought that was super cool too. Oh my goodness, Lucas. It is not going to be Goldberg. If it was, I got a guy that's going to come in, he's going to beat the crap out of you. Okay, maybe. But no, he was talking about technical wrestling. When you think technical wrestling, you don't think Bill Goldberg. Okay? Yes, +1 loved the show. He absolutely loved it. Now, he hasn't watched anything with AEW, so he didn't know who any of the wrestlers were. But he was just watching what was going on, and he was watching the reactions of everybody. And it was great. It was great. I mean, he just kept... He was sitting there because he didn't know what to do, but he was enjoying it. And he was getting into it. Again, we had really good seats. The only time it became a problem is when people stood up in front of him. But he was able to stand up and kind of look in between people. And we were close enough to the big Sidetron that he could see that. Yeah, I was very surprised. And I'm wondering if Tony Khan has had a conversation with them telling him you need to tone it down a little bit here. I don't know. All right, just overall, it was an incredible night. And being at a show live, it's different than watching it on TV. I know that. We got to see both at the end of Dynamite after it went off the air, and I could tell you after Rampage goes off the air, it was absolutely crazy. I'm not 100% sure when it cut off on Dynamite, at what point in time. I know Tanahashi and Moxley were having the stare down in the ring, and there was the big melee going on. but it went on for at least another 5 minutes after the show went off the air. And I'll tell you, Rampage, again, I don't want to give spoilers, but Rampage kind of ends in the same way too. And I don't know how much of it they're going to show, but it got crazy too. It really did. And I did post a video on my Twitter of Eddie Kingston addressing the crowd after the Rampage taping, which was, I mean, it was Eddie. It was Eddie. I'll just say that. But I'm going to tell you, I am so stoked for Forbidden Door on Sunday. I really, truly am. Now, there's a couple of matches in there I don't want to say I could care less about, but I'm not super excited about. But you got the 4-way between Switchblade, Adam Cole, Hangman, and now Okada. Tanahashi and Moxley. I think the sleeper for a match that is really going to tear the house down is FTR versus Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb versus Roppongi Vice for the ROH and IWGP World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. That's going to be an incredible match. Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy is going to surprise a lot of people. I think that one is really going to surprise a lot of people. Overall, I think it's going to be an incredible show. Yeah, there might be a couple of matches in there that are just, there's some of them in there that they just did as filler. And we kind of noticed it. One of the situations, I'm trying to remember who it is that's teaming with Kingston on Sunday. Japanese wrestler that's teaming with Kingston, that he ran out and there was no reaction because people didn't know who he was. There was zero reaction. And I couldn't even remember his name, quite honestly. And I had my friend who was sitting next to me and Jonah sitting next to me, like, who is that? Like, I don't remember his name. I couldn't remember. So that's going to be one area that they struggle in, though. If they allow Excalibur to do what he does best and explain who people are, it's going to be fine. But this is going to be just an absolutely amazing show, and I cannot wait for it. I mean, it is going to set the standard for wrestling pay-per-views to a completely different level. And if this goes off well, imagine what Forbidden Door next year could be. We could potentially see, hopefully by then, Ring of Honor will be in full swing with television tapings. Ring of Honor, AAA, Impact Wrestling, all involved. Turn it into a 2-day super show. And some of the incredible dream matches you could have. Or on the women's side, you get Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. You get some of the women from TJPW in there. Would be fantastic too. I'm just really excited. I'm really, truly excited for Sunday. This was just a great night as a fan. I didn't do as much tweeting as I wanted to because I was really trying to enjoy the show tonight. And I did. I was not a wrestling YouTuber, wrestling journalist, whatever you want to call me. I was not that tonight. I was a wrestling fan at the show, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Marcus, yes, we had actually talked about Dave Hebner a couple of days ago. And I'm sure it had a huge effect on Triple H. Any of the longtime people in WWE, that have been there, that knew Dave Hebner, that that hit them hard. All right, it is late. As you can probably tell, my voice is shot after tonight. So I'm going to get out of here, but I did get day 113 in. I told you I was going to be here. I told you. We will talk more tomorrow night after I get a chance to actually watch the televised version of Dynamite tomorrow. We'll talk more about it, and we'll talk more about who I think could be the mystery opponent for Zack Sabre Jr. Right now, my list is down to 2. As far as the free agents that kind of meet the description from Bryan Danielson, we shall see. If it's one of them, I think it's a one-off. I think it's not a contractual signing. I think he's coming in to do a favor for Bryan Danielson. If it's the other one, he may be all elite. I don't know. We shall see. Thank you very much, as always, everybody, for tuning in. I know with it being an even later time here that didn't get as many people in, and that's okay. I'm going to be on earlier tomorrow. For anybody that happens to be watching this on replay, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'm going to go attempt to rest my voice for tomorrow night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Have a good one.